OP's family wants her to give them her house. Posted in my side account. Because I know for a fact that Sil reads stuff on this sub. I F29 recently bought a house and a brand new car. I will admit I probably splurge on my house more than I should. But growing up very poor, it has always been a dream of mine to live in a nice house. I worked really hard to be where I am. So much so that I undergo countless breakups because I always choose a career over boys. My brother M25 is currently jobless. He worked as a tourist guide before and can barely make ends meet. He has 5 kids now and counting, as his wife announced her pregnancy recently. He messaged me on Facebook that there is something he wants to talk about, and I thought he wanted to name me godmother to his incoming baby. I said sure and invited him to the house to get his approval about some things I modified for our parents. I gave him a tour, and he admired my house greatly, saying things like how excited he is to bring the kids to my house. I did not mind anything about it, as I thought he meant a visit, which I'm more than happy to host them for. Imagine my surprise when he finally sat me down and revealed what he wanted to talk about. He wants me to give him my house. I clarified whether he meant this house or the other house I bought for my parents, which I still lived in. It still has modifications ongoing with my dream house. He said the house is big enough for his family, and I can go visit them anytime I like. He even offered that if I really wanted to live there, I could go move into the maid's room and modify it for my personal use. I was shocked and could not speak as he thanked me over and over for the house. I finally asked him where the heck that idea came from, and our mother told him I would give him my house. I of course corrected that, and this is where things have gone south. My brother repeatedly said that since our mom said the house is his now, I cannot do anything but give in. I called my mother to tell him to duck off, and lo and behold, my mother sided with my brother. To make this already long story short, my whole family had cut me off, and my parents disowned me until I gave my brother my house. My father has been brought to the hospital over this fight, and now I feel really bad. The guy I'm seeing now said to just give the house to my brother, and he'll help me buy another. Edit. To clarify, the house that they gave away is the newly bought one. I thought I could raise 5 adorable fur babies. My family home is in my name too, as I had to take out a loan back then to buy it. So yeah, it may be obvious that I'm not the arsehole at first sight, but I feel like I could be one because my father got hospitalized over the ensuing fight for the house. Edit 2. I'm trying to read all the comments, and I'm just so overwhelmed by your support. I've been temporarily staying at a friend's house ever since. Your encouraging words really helped ease my mood. I finally decided not to give this house away and sell the other one to help pay for the vast majority of the loan on my dream house. I also decided to remove my parents' access to my health plans and remove them from my insurance. Last but not least, thank you for the award, kind strangers. Reading your comments made me realize how ridiculously unreal this sounds. In the comments, OP, not a millionaire, really. I'm just earning really well. My job has great demand, but really low supply. And if I say so myself, I'm more than good at it. So the real millionaires had to pay me a fat paycheck to keep me. Maybe it's a cultural thing because it's an unspoken tradition that whoever earns more in the family must help the rest. I'm mostly curious where you can have parents as dependents for insurance. I tried for my dad once, and my state was like, he can just unalive. It's a common thing for young professionals in my country. Everybody's dependents are their parents. If you're single, at least, I'm a little jealous. OP, don't be. Our healthcare is SHT, even for those who can afford it. Is this real? This can't be real. She's from the same country as me. This scenario is not even new. I can pick people on my friend list who can write stories so close to this that you'd say they're all copycats. I mean, my grandma pulled something like this for her kids. Update. Hello. So a lot of people have reached out to me since my original post. A lot has happened since then. I'll try to include as many details as I can. so I cut my family off back in December and removed them from all services that would benefit them by being connected to me. Since I figured, hey mom, you told me I'm unalive to you, then you get no free house from me anymore. So the reactions from our extended family were just as I expected. Most of the adults sided with my mother. My cousins expressed their support for me. I got uninvited by the family reunion I initially sponsored, and isn't that just the worst? My aunts and uncles had barricaded the gate when I arrived at my grandmother's house. I won't expand on this anymore because it still hurts. My mother also sued me for selling the first house back in January. It did not reach the higher courts, and I won. The public's perception of me got worse, though. She and my brother took this defeat to twist the sympathy in their favor. They posted on social media about how I am an ungrateful daughter, and I owe them for everything I have. They also blamed me for my father's unalive. Yes, he passed away. I did not even get to attend the funeral because I'm banned. When this happened, I almost gave in and signed the papers to give the house to my brother. I blamed myself and believed them. My selfishness unalived my father. At this point, my boyfriend convinced me to take a break from work and talk to a professional. I did just that, and I'm only now realizing how messed up the way they raised me was. I can't believe it took internet strangers to realize something was wrong with how they treated me. To be honest, I almost decided not to post an update. It was last month when my therapist suggested I should do it, because this is where my breakup with them started. On the bright side, I saw how my fiancé's family really likes me because of this ordeal. I thought they were just being nice. But SHT happened, and they supported me every step of the way, especially when my partner had to go overseas for a 1-week stay because of his job. They really took care of me and even assured me that I'm worth more than my family thinks I am. The nicest thing I ever heard in my life came from his mother. Anyway, on July 21, my father's birthday, my mother reached out to me. She explained to me that she understood she had no right to ban me from his funeral, but at the time, all she could think about was how I cut them off my health plans, which rendered them incapable of supporting my father's hospitalization. I did not realize this, and we cried for hours. She said she still blames me and doesn't think she can forgive me. I think I understand her. My therapist told me that thinking of what ifs is counterproductive. But if I could go back in time, I'd help them with this. My brother won't talk to me. That's fine. The feeling is very mutual. In the comments, I still have doubts over the partner who said to just give the house to the brother, and he'd then help her buy a new one, according to the original post. Something is very wrong with him too. Now he's convinced her to leave her job, which doesn't reassure me. Playing devil's advocate here. Perhaps his initial suggestion was made in dire circumstances. With him watching her struggle over this, it might have just been a spur of the moment. I just want my loved one to stop hurting. And here OP says, take a break from work, which could mean taking a couple of weeks off, not necessarily quitting her job. You might be right, but you also might not be. I don't think we have enough information to make that kind of judgment about OP's partner. OPO, he means well. I showed the comments about him back when I first posted, and he made jokes about it. He is actually better off than me. He made the offer because he just wants my family to stop bothering me about the house. This offer was made back when things were escalating for the worst. Regarding me taking a break from work, it was what we had been planning even before COVID, and when the travel restrictions eased off, there was always something coming up that pushed our travel plans. However, my work performance plummeted when my personal problems piled on top of one another. So he literally had to beg me to take a break from work. I just feel like I need to clarify this here. He is an absolute godsend. My partner treats me like a goddess. I only had to name it, and he would give it to me.